How did one honest choice in a hospital room end with papers handed to me in a public lobby, with security watching? Why did my husband stay quiet for weeks, then show up with proof and make the result hit all at once? My name is Fedalma Pierce, but nobody calls me that. People call me Alma because it sounds softer, like I am easy to understand. I worked as a payroll specialist at a logistics company. I paid other people on time. I liked that feeling. It made me feel clean, even when my own life was not. When I got pregnant, everyone said I should be happy. Evan, my husband, said I should rest more. He asked what I needed. He offered to drive me to every appointment. He acted like this baby was a simple thing we were building together. I did not see it that way. I told myself the baby was my body and my moment. I told myself Evan's job was support, not questions. Evan liked questions. He asked when I felt sick. He asked what the doctor said. He asked who I texted at night. He said he wanted to help, but it sounded like he wanted control. I kept saying that word, control, because it made him look bad. I still think I was right then. On the morning of my next prenatal appointment, Evan stood in the kitchen and watched me pack my bag. He asked if I wanted him to come. I said I had it covered. He asked if my mum was meeting me. I said my mum had her own life. He asked if I was going alone. I said yes, like it was normal and strong. My phone vibrated on the counter. I saw the preview. It was Cole Harrigan. He was my ex. He wrote that he hoped I slept well and that he was thinking about me. It was short, like it meant nothing. It still made my stomach warm. Evan saw my face change. He asked who it was. I said it was just Brielle from work. Evan asked why my co-worker texted that early. I said Brielle was dramatic and always awake. Evan told me my voice sounded weird. I said he was imagining things. He asked if I was hiding something. I said he was projecting his fear onto me. I said pregnancy makes men insecure. I said I did not have space to babysit his feelings. Evan got quiet. He looked down at the sink. 2 mugs sat there, but I had started using the small glass cup instead. It felt childish, but I liked that it made a point. Evan asked why I stopped using our mugs. I said the smell made me sick. That was not true. The mugs were just us, and I did not want to feel us. He told me he could wash them again. I said it was not about that. I said he never listened. Evan asked what he did wrong. I said he always needed to be the good guy, and it was tiring. I left without letting him drive me. At the prenatal clinic, the waiting room was bright and quiet. There were posters about breathing and support partners. Some women sat with their husbands. Some held hands. I watched them, and I felt something sharp in my chest. Not sadness, more like anger that their lives looked simple. The nurse called my name. She said Fedalma, and I hated it. I corrected her and said Alma. She smiled and wrote it down. The doctor asked if I had stress at home. I said my husband was supportive, but he could be intense. I did not say what that meant, because intense can mean anything. The doctor asked if I felt safe. I said yes, but I said Evan did not respect my boundaries. I liked how that sounded. It made Evan the problem without me needing facts. When the doctor left, I checked my phone again. Cole had sent another message. He asked how the appointment was going. He said he wished he could be there. He wrote that he cared about both of you. I did not answer right away. I stared at the words. I told myself it was normal. I told myself it was kind. I told myself Evan was too stiff to understand real care. I typed that everything was fine and that I would call later. On my way out, I ran into a woman I knew from my office building. She asked how my husband was doing with the pregnancy. I smiled and said he was trying. I rolled my eyes like a joke. She laughed. That laugh felt like proof that I was right to feel annoyed with Evan. In the parking lot, Evan called. I did not pick up. I told myself it was because I was tired. The truth was I did not want to hear his calm voice. Calm made me feel guilty, and I hated guilt. On the drive home, I practiced lines in my head. I told myself Evan had no right to ask about my phone. I told myself marriage is not ownership. I told myself a woman needs support from whoever feels safe. I did not say Cole in that thought, but it was there. When I got home, Evan was at the kitchen table with his laptop open. He was not watching videos or games. He was looking at a spreadsheet. It had dates and small notes. I could not see the title. I assumed it was work, but it made me tense. He asked how the appointment went. I said the baby was fine. He asked what the doctor said. I gave him only the easy parts. He asked if I wanted soup. I said no. He asked why I did not answer his call. I said I was in the clinic and he should know that. He said he called after the time I told him. I said he must have the time wrong. He said he did not. I said he was making a fight for no reason. Then he did something I hated. He asked in a quiet voice if I was talking to Cole. I acted offended fast. I asked why he brought up my past. I said he was obsessed. I said he was trying to punish me for who I dated before him. Evan said he saw a message preview. He asked why I lied about Brielle. I said he should not look at my phone. I said he was crossing a line. Evan asked if Cole was the father. He asked it like he was trying not to choke on the words. For 1 second, I felt real fear. I also felt power. That mix made me reckless. I laughed. I said he was being dramatic. I said he watched too many shows. Evan asked why I laughed. I said sometimes men need a mirror to see how silly they sound. Evan stood up and pushed his chair in, slow and careful. He asked if we could talk like adults. I said I was already being adult, and he was acting like a jealous teenager. My mother, Janet, called right then. I put her on speaker because I wanted an audience. I told her Evan was accusing me of things again. Janet asked what he meant. I said he was jealous of my past and could not handle pregnancy attention not being about him. Janet told me I should protect my peace. She said some men only understand embarrassment. Evan heard every word. He did not argue with Janet. He just looked at me like I was a stranger. Later that night, Evan went to the guest room. He said he needed sleep. I said fine, like I did not care. I heard a drawer click, like it locked. I told myself it was nothing. I told myself he was being dramatic. In bed, I stared at the ceiling and felt the baby move. My phone lit up again. Cole asked if I was okay. I did not answer right away. I listened for Evan's footsteps, but the house was still. Then I typed back that I was tired and that Evan was being weird. I added a small smiley face, like it was funny. I told myself I was only venting. The truth was simpler. I wanted Cole to feel close. I wanted Evan to feel replaceable. The next week, my belly felt heavy like a bag of wet sand. I told myself it was normal. I told myself I was strong. I still went to work. I still corrected payroll errors like my hands were steady, even when they were not. That Friday, I felt cramps that did not stop. They came in waves, low and tight. I sat at my desk and stared at the screen, but the numbers blurred. Brielle leaned over my chair and asked if I was okay. I said it was just normal pregnancy pain. She asked if I wanted her to call Evan. I said no, because Evan would overreact. I said I needed calm, not panic. I went to the bathroom and locked the stall. I pressed my hand to my belly. I told myself to breathe. My phone buzzed. Evan had sent a message asking if I wanted him to pick me up after work. I did not answer. I opened my thread with Cole instead. I wrote that I felt pain and I did not like it. Cole replied fast. He asked where I was. He said he could come right now. He said the baby needed calm energy. I liked how he said, the baby, like it belonged to him too. It made my chest feel full, like I mattered. I told Cole I was leaving for the hospital. I did not tell Evan yet. I told myself I would tell Evan once I had facts. That sounded responsible. It was also a way to keep control. At the hospital entrance, the air smelled like sanitizer and coffee. The lights were too white. My cramps came again, and I had to lean on the wall for a second. A security guard asked if I needed a wheelchair. I said no, because I did not want to look weak. At the intake desk, a nurse asked my name and date of birth. I said them slowly and tried to sound calm. She asked who my support person was. I said my mother would come. That was a half-truth. My mother would come if it sounded dramatic enough. The nurse asked if the baby's father was coming. I said my husband was on his way. Then I added that my ex knew the situation and might also come. I said it like it was normal, like I was being transparent. The nurse paused and asked me to repeat that. I repeated it, even clearer. She asked if there was conflict. I said my husband was sensitive. I said he took things personally. I said I needed a peaceful room. The nurse nodded, but her eyes were careful. My phone buzzed again. Cole wrote that he was already driving. He asked which entrance to use. I told him the main one. I did not tell him to stay away. I told myself I could not control other people. Then Evan called. I answered this time, but I did not sound soft. Evan asked why I was at the hospital. I said I had cramps, and I did not want him to panic. He asked why I did not tell him earlier. I said I was busy, not fainting. He asked if I was alone. I said my mom was coming. He asked if he should come now. I said he should come, but he should not make a scene. He asked what that meant. I said it meant he should act supportive and calm, like a husband is supposed to. They put a band on my wrist and walked me to the labor unit. The hallway felt long. The floor shined. I heard a baby cry somewhere behind a door. That sound made my skin prickle. A nurse asked if I had a birth plan. I said I wanted a low-stress environment. I said I wanted no pressure. I said I did not want anyone talking down to me. The nurse asked who I wanted in the room. I said my mother. Then I said I wanted Cole too, because he understood me. I said Evan could come when he proved he would not argue. The nurse asked if Evan was the baby's father. I stared at her for 1 second too long. Then I said Evan was my husband, and Cole was the biological father. I said it like it was a fact I was brave enough to say. The nurse blinked and asked if that was confirmed. I said I knew my own life. I said I did not need a test to know what happened. She said she had to document what I said. I told her to document it. Part of me felt proud, like I was finally honest. Another part of me felt like I was throwing a stone through glass and pretending it was fresh air. They put me in a room to monitor me. A monitor beeped and printed small lines on paper. I stared at the paper like it could judge me. I heard my own breathing and tried to make it slow. My mother arrived first. She came in with her purse, like it was a meeting. She asked what happened. I said I had cramps, and Evan was already acting controlling. She asked if I told him the truth. I said I hinted. Janet said I should not hint. She said I should say it out loud and end the power games. She said men only respect what embarrasses them. Then Cole arrived. He walked in like he belonged there. He looked nervous, but also excited in a way he tried to hide. He asked how I felt. I said I felt scared and tired. He held my hand. I let him. I told myself it was support. A nurse came in and asked who Cole was. I said he was the father. Cole nodded. The nurse asked for his name for the file. Cole said it. I watched the nurse write it down. The pen scratching sounded loud to me. My mother smiled like she won a point. Evan arrived soon after. I heard his voice in the hallway before I saw him. He asked the front desk where my room was. A staff member told him. Evan walked in and stopped, like he hit a wall. He looked at Cole's hand on mine. He looked at my mother sitting like a queen. Evan asked what Cole was doing there. I said Cole was supporting me because Evan was hard to be around lately. Evan asked why I did not call him first. I said I did not have time for his questions. Evan asked if this was some kind of joke. I said it was not a joke. I said it was the truth, and if he loved me, he would respect it. Evan asked if I was saying the baby was not his. I said I was saying the baby was Cole's, and I was done pretending. Evan's face changed. It did not turn angry like I wanted. It turned blank, like he could not feel his body for a second. He asked the nurse if he was allowed in the room as my husband. The nurse said the patient decided who was in the room, and they had to follow that. Evan asked to speak outside for 1 minute. I said no, because he would guilt me. I said if he had something to say, he could say it here. He asked why I wanted an audience. I said I did not. I said I just wanted no secrets. That sounded good, even to me. My mother told Evan to stop upsetting me. She said he should be grateful I was being honest now. Evan looked at her and did not respond. He looked back at me and asked if I really wanted Cole there during delivery. I said yes. I said Cole had a right. I said Evan was making this about his ego. Evan asked if I planned this. I said I did not plan labor pains. I said he was cruel to even ask. Evan asked if I understood what I was doing to our marriage. I said the marriage needed truth to survive. I said if it could not survive truth, it deserved to end. Cole kept holding my hand. He did not say much. He did not need to. His presence was the loud part. The nurse asked Evan to step aside if he could not stay calm. Evan said he was calm. He asked if there was a private waiting area. The nurse told him there was a family waiting room. Evan nodded once. Before he left, he asked me one last time if I wanted him in the room. I said I wanted peace, not pressure. He looked at the baby monitor, then at my face. He said he would not fight in a hospital. Then he walked out without raising his voice. That should have made me feel safe. Instead, it made me feel like I lost something I could not name. After Evan walked out, the room felt bigger and colder. My mother asked if I was okay. I said I was fine and that Evan was being dramatic. Cole asked if I wanted water. I said yes because it made him look useful. A nurse came back and said they wanted to keep me for monitoring. I said I understood. I told myself I was the calm one. I told myself Evan was the problem because he could not accept reality. Later, the doctor said the baby's heart rate looked steady. She said they would move things along in a safe way. I nodded like I was in charge. I did not look at Cole's face too long because I did not want to read fear there. Hours passed in small pieces. I remember the beeping. I remember the ceiling tiles. I remember my mother complaining about the chair being uncomfortable. I remember Cole trying to joke, then stopping when no one laughed. At one point, a nurse asked if I wanted my husband informed about updates. I said he already knew enough. I said he chose to leave. The nurse said he did not choose in that way, because visitors were my choice. I told her she was misunderstanding me. I said he could have stayed supportive. I said he made it about him. When the baby finally arrived, people spoke in quick, trained voices. They placed her near me, wrapped and clean. I looked down and felt a rush of relief more than love. Relief meant I could keep talking like I was right. My mother started crying and said the baby was perfect. Cole got quiet and stared like he was seeing proof of himself. I told myself that mattered. I told myself this was what truth looked like. A nurse asked what name to use on the bassinet card. I said, Mara. My mother said it was pretty. Cole said it fit. The nurse asked about the father's information again, because paperwork needed consistency. I said Evan was my husband, but Cole was the biological father. The nurse wrote it down without drama. That calm writing felt like a judge's hammer in my head, even though nobody said it was. Evan did not come back that night. I told myself he was sulking. I told myself he wanted to punish me by disappearing. I used that thought to protect myself from the other thought, the one that said he left because I broke something. The next morning, I sat up in the bed and watched Mara sleep. Cole brought me coffee from the cafeteria. My mother posted a photo of Mara's tiny hand. She did not post my face. She did not post Cole. She did not post Evan. She posted the baby like a trophy. I told my mother to tag me. She asked if I wanted Evan to see it. I said yes because he needed to face it. I said he could not hide from truth. Brielle texted me and asked if it was true that Evan was not the father. I said it was complicated. Brielle said complicated meant juicy. She asked if she could tell people I stood up for myself. I said she could say I chose honesty over comfort. I wrote my own post later. I kept it vague, but sharp. I wrote that some men love the idea of a family more than the real woman inside it. I wrote that I was tired of walking on eggshells. I told myself it was not a lie. It was just a story I could live with. In the hospital cafeteria, my mother sat with me and Cole at a corner table. My mother asked if I felt guilty. I said guilt was a tool used to control women. She nodded like I taught her something, even though she taught me first. Cole asked if Evan would accept the baby anyway. I said Evan would accept what he had to. I said he was my husband, and vows meant responsibility. Cole asked if Evan might leave. I said Evan would not leave because he cared too much about looking like the good guy. I said that with confidence. I needed to. Patricia, Evan's mother, showed up later with a small bag of baby clothes. She did not hug me. She asked how I was feeling. I said I was tired but fine. She asked if she could see the baby. I said yes. She held Mara carefully, like she was holding something fragile and holy. Patricia asked where Evan was. I said he walked out because he could not handle truth. Patricia said he walked out because he was asked to watch his own marriage end in front of strangers. I told her that was dramatic. She said she was not being dramatic. She said she was being accurate. I tried to turn it. I asked if she came to judge me. She said she came for the baby and for her son. She asked if I wanted a war. I said I wanted peace. She said peace needed boundaries. I told her boundaries were what Evan used to control me. Patricia said boundaries were what people used to stop harm. That word, harm, made me angry. I said nobody harmed anyone. I said Evan was safe and fine. Patricia said emotional harm still counted, even when there were no bruises. I told her she was using therapy words to attack me. Patricia asked if Evan could come see Mara. I said he could, if he apologized and acted respectful. Patricia asked what he needed to apologize for. I said for questioning me, for doubting me, for making me feel small during pregnancy. Patricia looked at me for a long time and said Evan had been keeping notes. She said he was not trying to trap me, but he was trying to understand what was real. I laughed and said notes were creepy. Patricia said notes were what careful people did when stories kept changing. Then she handed me the bag and left. When we finally went home, my living room filled up fast. My mother invited people without asking. She said a new baby needed community. I knew she also wanted an audience, because audiences protect you when your choices look ugly. Brielle came with balloons and her phone already in her hand. She asked if she could film a short clip for her story. I said yes, but only my face and the baby. Brielle asked where Evan was. I said Evan was taking space because he could not handle my honesty. Kara, my sister, arrived and looked unsure. She asked if I was okay. I said I was strong. She asked if Evan saw the baby. I said not yet. She asked why not. I said he was making it hard. Kara asked if I really knew Cole was the father. I told her the dates made sense. She asked what that meant. I said she did not need details. I said she should support me, not interrogate me like Evan. Evan came home late, quiet. He did not walk into the living room right away. I heard the front door, then soft steps toward the hallway. He did not greet my mother. He did not greet Brielle. That silence made people stare. My mother went after him and asked what his problem was. He said he would not discuss anything with guests present. She asked if he was refusing to meet his own baby. He said he was not refusing anything, and he would act properly, but not as a show. I hated that word again, properly. It sounded like he already decided the rules. I carried Mara toward the hallway to force the moment. I said he needed to look at her. Evan looked at Mara, but his eyes did not soften like I wanted. He asked if the baby had been fed. I said yes. He asked if the pediatric appointment was set. I said yes. He nodded like he was checking boxes. Then he asked, in a low voice, if Cole had been at the hospital when I filled out paperwork. I said yes, Because I was not hiding. Evan said he understood. He asked if we could speak alone later. I said we could speak now because I had nothing to hide. Evan said he did not want a scene. I said he was the one making a scene by acting cold. Evan looked at the living room where my friend sat. He said he would be in the guest room for the night. My mother muttered that he was punishing me. Evan did not answer her. Later, when the guests finally left, I went to the kitchen. I saw 2 mugs on opposite counters, like someone drew a line between them. The sight made my throat tighten. On the fridge, a calendar reminder was written in neat ink. Meeting, personal, with a place name I did not recognize and a time that felt too exact. I walked toward the guest room. I heard a soft beep from inside, like a phone app starting. I stopped with my hand in the air, and for the first time, I wondered if Evan was not losing control at all. On Monday, I went back to work like nothing happened. I walked into the open plan office with my pump bag, my laptop, and my face set in a calm smile. I told myself that if I looked normal, my life was normal. People still stared. Brielle rolled her chair near mine and asked how motherhood felt. I said it felt powerful. She asked if Evan was helping. I said he was taking space because he struggled with change. Brielle asked if it was true about the father. I said it was private, but I also said Evan made it public by acting cold. That did not even make sense, but Brielle nodded anyway. At lunch, I went to the break room and opened my phone. I saw comments under my post. Some women wrote that I was brave. Some asked if I needed help. One person from my building wrote that Evan always looked stern. I liked that word. It made him sound guilty without a reason. I added another post, still vague. I wrote that respect should not be optional just because a woman is tired. I wrote that I would not beg for basic support. I told myself I was protecting my image. I was also poking Evan to see if he would react. He did not react online. That bothered me more than anger would have. My manager, Denise, asked me for a quick word in the small meeting room. She asked if everything at home was stable. I said yes. She asked because co-workers were talking and it could affect the team. I said my family situation was not their business. Denise said it became the team's business when people argued in the hallway about it. I asked who argued. Denise said she did not want names, but she wanted calm. I told Denise that Evan was stressed and I was doing my best. I said I was not the one starting rumors. Denise asked if I needed time off. I said no, because I did not want to look weak. I left the room feeling angry but also proud. I told myself I was being strong. That afternoon, Evan sent a message. He asked what time I would be home and what time the baby's next appointment was. He also asked if my mother planned to visit again. He wrote it like a list. I typed back that he was acting like a robot. I asked if he even cared. Evan replied that he cared, and that clarity helped everyone. He asked if I could answer in writing. That phrase made my neck feel hot. Answer in writing, like he was building a file on me. I told myself it was paranoid. Then I remembered the beep from the guest room. When I got home, Evan was in the kitchen. He was washing bottles. He did not look at me right away. He asked if my shift ended on time. I said yes. He asked if I stayed late. I said no. He asked because my location showed I was near the Riverside Cafe for 20 minutes. My stomach dropped. I asked why he tracked my location. Evan said we shared locations for safety, and he had not checked until my mother called him and said I was missing. I told him my mother was dramatic. Evan asked if I went to meet Cole. I said no. I said I went to pick up diapers at a shop nearby. Evan asked for the receipt. I told him he was being controlling again. Evan said he was not controlling. He was asking a simple question. I said he never trusted me. He said trust needed truth. Then he did another thing I hated. He asked me to put our weekly schedule on the fridge, including work shifts, baby appointments, and who was visiting. He said he wanted less surprise. I told him life with a baby is not a spreadsheet. Evan said we could still plan basics. I said he was making me feel like an employee. Evan said he was trying to prevent fights. He asked if I wanted fights. I did not answer. I turned it around. I asked if he was punishing me by sleeping in the guest room. Evan said he slept there because he needed peace, and because he did not want arguments in front of the baby. I said the baby could not understand. Evan said the baby could still feel tension. I carried Mara to the living room and sat down. Evan followed and asked if he could hold her. I said yes, but I watched him closely, like I was the one judging his behavior. He held her carefully, like Patricia did. He asked if she ate. I said she ate. He asked if she had wet diapers. I said yes. He nodded. He did not coo or perform. He looked calm, and that calm felt like distance. My mother came over that evening without warning. She walked in and asked why Evan looked so serious. Evan said he was tired. Janet asked why he was tired when I did all the work. I told her to stop, but I did not really stop her. Part of me liked the pressure on him. Janet asked Evan if he accepted the truth yet. Evan said he accepted that the baby needed stability. Janet asked if he would still pay for everything. Evan said he would pay for what he was legally responsible for, and he would do it properly. My mother laughed and asked if he was threatening us. Evan said he was not threatening anyone. He said he was setting boundaries. Janet told me I should not let him bully me with big words. I said Evan was acting cold and trying to scare me. Evan asked what I was scared of. I said I was scared he would abandon Mara. Evan said he would not abandon a child, but he would not be manipulated either. Cara came a few minutes later and stood by the doorway. She asked if this was a good time. I said yes, because I wanted a witness. Cara asked Evan if he was okay. Evan said he was okay, and he was focusing on the baby's routine. Cara asked me if I was okay. I said I was tired and unsupported. Cara asked if Cole was still around. I said Cole checked in sometimes. Cara asked if that was wise. I said she sounded like Evan. Cara told me she did not want to fight. She said she just wanted me to be honest with myself. I snapped and said honesty was the whole problem in this family because people could not handle it. After my mother left, Evan went to the kitchen and opened his laptop. I walked behind him and saw a spreadsheet again. It was not work. It had dates, times, and short notes like pediatric visit, Janet visit, and message received. He closed it when he felt me near. I asked what that was. Evan said it was a household log to keep things clear. I said that was creepy. Evan said confusion was worse. Later, we went to the supermarket for formula. We stood at the checkout, and I reached for our shared card. Evan gently moved his hand and used a different card. He paid without looking at me. Then he took the receipt and folded it neatly. I asked why he did that. Evan said he was separating expenses for clarity. I asked if he was planning to leave me. Evan said he was planning to protect himself and protect the baby. In the parking garage, I tried to push him. I asked if he was going to tell people I was a bad mother. Evan said he would not smear me. He said he would only speak with facts and only to the right people. I asked who the right people were. Evan said professionals. That word hit me like cold water. Professionals. When we got home, I heard the guest room door close again. A soft click followed, like a lock. A few seconds later, my phone buzzed with a notification. File uploaded successfully. It was from our shared cloud account. I stared at the screen and felt my mouth go dry because I did not upload anything. By the end of that week, I could not stand the quiet. Evan's calm felt like a wall I could not climb. If he yelled, I could call him cruel. If he begged, I could call him weak. But he did neither. He washed bottles, logged times, and asked for plans in writing. He acted like my feelings were not the center of the house anymore. So I did what I always did when I felt cornered. I looked for an audience. My mother said we should do a welcome dinner for Mara at a family restaurant. She said it would lift my mood and show people we were still a real family. I knew what she meant. She wanted a stage. Brielle wanted one too. Cara sounded unsure on the phone, but she said she would come. Patricia said she would only come if it stayed respectful. That made me want it more. Evan said he did not feel ready for a big dinner. I told him he was being selfish. He asked if I could do it without turning it into a fight. I said he was the one who made everything a fight by acting cold. He said he would go for Mara's sake, and he would keep it calm. At the restaurant, the long table was already set. The lights were warm, and the room was loud with birthdays and clinking glasses. My mother chose a spot in the center like it was her event. Brielle arrived first and put her phone on the table next to the bread basket. Cara walked in behind her and looked at the table like she wanted to turn around. Evan came in carrying the baby carrier. He moved carefully through the tight space and kept his eyes forward. People noticed him right away, because he looked like he did not belong in my mother's world. He did not smile on command. He did not laugh at weak jokes. He did not perform. Janet asked why he looked so serious. Evan said he was tired and focused on the baby. Janet said tired was not an excuse to be rude. Evan said he was not trying to be rude. He asked where he should put the carrier so it would not be in the aisle. Janet rolled her eyes like he was being difficult on purpose. Patricia arrived and greeted Evan first. She asked if Mara was doing well. Evan said she was feeding more regularly. Patricia nodded and said that was good. When Patricia greeted me, her face stayed polite but guarded. That made me angry, because I wanted her on my side. Luke came with a gift bag and a look that said he already knew this would be messy. He asked how I was feeling. I said I was exhausted and unsupported. He glanced at Evan and said he hoped we could keep things peaceful for the baby. I said peace was hard when people acted like victims. When food came, my mother started telling the table how hard my labor was and how brave I was. She made it sound like I survived a storm alone. She said Evan left me at the hospital. She did not say the part where I made the room into a courtroom with Cole sitting next to me. Evan kept cutting his food slowly. He did not correct her. That silence made my mother talk louder. Brielle asked if Evan had bonded with Mara yet. I said he was trying, but he was distant. Evan asked what I meant by distant. I said he treated Mara like a task list. Evan said a routine helped babies. I said a routine was not love. Evan said love also meant stability. My mother said stability did not matter if the father did not even accept the baby. The table went quiet for a second. Some nearby diners glanced over. Evan asked my mother to lower her voice. Janet asked why she should. Evan said because this was a public place and the baby did not need tension. Janet said Evan loved control more than family. I said he did not like being called out. Evan asked what I wanted from him in that moment. I said I wanted him to admit he was punishing me. Evan said he was not punishing me. He said he was trying to avoid conflict. That was not enough. I needed a bigger reaction. I said, very casually, that maybe he would feel more connected if the baby was actually his. I said it like a joke. I said it like the table already knew. I watched faces change. Brielle's mouth opened, like she smelled drama. Kara's eyes widened like she was seeing me from far away. Patricia's hand tightened around her water glass. Evan stopped chewing. He looked at me, then at the baby carrier, then back at me. He asked if I was seriously saying that in front of everyone. I said I was only being honest. I asked why truth scared him. Evan asked what truth I meant. I said the truth I already told him. I said Cole was the real father, and everybody needed to stop acting like I did something evil. My mother jumped in and said I was brave for telling the truth. She said Evan should be grateful I married him at all. Brielle laughed too loudly and said the story was wild. Cara told Brielle to stop laughing. Brielle asked why, and she said it was not funny. Patricia asked me if I understood what I was doing to my own child's life by turning paternity into a table topic. I said I was protecting Mara from lies. Patricia said I was making Mara into a weapon. I told Patricia she was biased. Evan asked me to stop. He asked me to speak privately, away from the baby and away from the table. I said no. I said he always tried to isolate me so he could twist my words. Evan said he did not want to twist anything. He said he wanted one calm conversation. Luke leaned toward Evan and told him to stay steady. Evan nodded once, like he heard it, but he did not need it. My mother asked Evan if he was going to abandon the baby because of his ego. Evan said he would not abandon any child. He said he would not make threats and he would not yell. He said he would handle responsibilities the right way. I pushed again. I asked if he wanted to embarrass me back. Evan said he did not want revenge. He said he wanted structure. I asked what structure meant. Evan said it meant facts, records, and proper steps. Kara asked me, softly, if I had proof that Cole was the father. I said I did not need proof because I knew what happened. Kara asked if Evan deserved proof before I destroyed his name in public. I told her she was acting like him. Kara said she was acting like an adult. The waiter came to check on us and froze when he felt the tension. My mother smiled too wide and said everything was fine. Evan thanked the waiter and asked for the check even though plates were still half full. That move made me feel small, like he could end my stage whenever he wanted. When we stood to leave, Evan lifted the baby carrier with care. He did not jerk it. He did not slam chairs. He moved like a person who refused to be baited. Outside, near the entrance, I tried one more time. I asked if he was going to keep acting like a stranger in our home. Evan looked at me with tired eyes. He asked me to stop making scenes in public and stop using the baby as cover for adult choices. I said he was blaming me for everything. He said he was not blaming. He was observing. On the drive home, he did not speak. The silence pressed on my ears. When we got inside, he carried Mara upstairs and placed her bassinet in the corner of our bedroom without fanfare. Then he walked to the landing and paused, like he was making a decision. I followed him and asked what he was doing. Evan said he was going to the guest room again. I asked if he even planned to stay married. Evan said he would not argue on stairs. I asked if he was going to tell people I was crazy. Evan said he would not smear me. He said he would handle it properly. The next morning, Evan texted and asked me to meet him for paperwork clarity at a downtown office tower. He said it was a public place and it would be quick. I told myself he was trying to scare me. I still went because I did not want him to control the story alone. The lobby smelled like polished stone and old coffee. People walked past with badges and coats. A security guard watched the doors. Evan was already there, standing near a bench, hands empty, posture calm. Patricia stood a few steps behind him, like she was there to witness, not to fight. Luke was across the lobby, looking at his phone, not looking at me. I asked Evan why he dragged me here. He said he did not drag me and he did not want a scene. He asked me to keep my voice low. I said he always acted calm to make me look crazy. He said he was not trying to look like anything. He said he was doing the proper steps. A woman in business clothes walked toward me with a folder. She asked if I was Fedalma Pierce. I said yes, and my stomach tightened right away. She asked me to confirm my date of birth. I did, because the lobby felt too open to play games. She said she was there to serve me documents. I said, Evan set this up to punish a new mother. Evan said he did not want punishment. He wanted facts and stability. The woman handed me papers and pointed to a line for my signature. I refused at first. She said my refusal did not stop service, and she noted it anyway. I felt heat in my face, because people nearby slowed down and stared. I looked down and saw words I did not want to see. It was a filed paternity action that started a court-ordered DNA process. It also had temporary rules that began immediately about exchanges, contact, and schedules. It said communication had to be in writing, and pickups had set times. I told Evan he was ruining our family. He said I ruined it the day I made paternity a weapon in public. He said he would follow the temporary rules and he expected me to do the same. I tried to speak louder, but the guard stepped closer, and the clerk at the desk called my name again, asking me to come forward to confirm receipt.